Lior Bar-El, and man, do I have some good news for you. I'm going to tell you right now. A lot of you guys wrote to me about this. You guys requested me to to check it out and look to see how these things work, because a lot of the controllers that you guys bought that are from third-party developers operated like crap. And as you know from my past reviews back when I was doing controller reviews and showed you literally all the junk that they had, and obviously Nintendo Switch has a lot of these third-party kind of controllers that are out. The ones that are wired. There's also ones that are wireless, but they're not pro, that they're not motion control, and so on and so forth. Some of them made from China that they don't even charge anymore. And I remember I gave you guys a whole look-see about most of these things, and which ones I recommend and which one I don't. And a big portion of you guys actually requested, and I don't blame you, because this is amazing. Right now, Sega is doing what Nintendo failed at doing and gave up on doing. So they came out with their own virtual console called Sega Ages. And now a lot of games are set to come for the Nintendo Switch, or even mobile phones or other systems using Sega Ages, games for Dreamcast that are going to be freaking amazing, like Virtua Fighter 3 and other really crazy good games, possibly even Sega Saturn games. Sega Genesis, Sega CD is a norm right now. It's happening. So we're going to see how that thing develops. But a lot of you guys said you were looking, that you missed, some of you guys said you missed the form factor of the the Genesis controller. Some of you guys said you love the Sega Saturn controller. Some of you guys said you love the Dreamcast controller, and you said you wanted to know what great one is out there. And one of the big ones you guys mentioned was the 8Bitdo. Okay, that's how it's spelled. I'm going to put that obviously in the title so you guys can look for that. So it's the 8Bitdo version. So I went to my buddy in GameStop, and believe it or not, these things are not widely available anywhere. Very few shops even carried certain controllers. I know there's the one by, I can't even pronounce it, the Crix, whatever. I'll put that in the description as well, which is very expensive on Amazon. They're going for like 70, 75 bucks. Really expensive, and it was a great controller. I actually operated it and really loved it, and I was even considering buying it at some point, but not at 70, 75 bucks. I think that's pretty much a ripoff. So the thing that a lot of you guys requested me to do is to go and check this out, and I'm really glad my friend managed to get his hands on like one of them. Okay, that was open box, and they pretty much in GameStop, some GameStops at least, I don't know if all of them do this, but he told me some GameStops do this, where they have their customer service, their workers get more familiar with these controllers, with these games and whatever, and they let them have experience with it before they're released into the wild, and so on and so forth. So this thing is the M30. Okay, so I actually managed to get my hands on this thing, and I was actually playing this, playing games with it. Now, I know a lot of your concerns were, are the buttons moving on the controller? Like, the buttons are like jiggling if you shake it. Does it just like shake, like move and everything like that, and all that stuff around? How does it exactly work? And all of these things. So I'm here to tell you that 100% this thing is a solid item. But yes, it does jiggle. Yes, the D-pad even jiggles when you go like that. But if you guys remember, the Dreamcast, the Sega, sorry, I don't think the Dreamcast did that, but the Sega Saturn and the Genesis controllers all did that. So it's exactly the same like that, except I think the form factor of this one is a bit smaller than the Genesis version, than the original Genesis version. So the M30 is, I believe, a little bit smaller. It kind of reminds me of a Sega Saturn controller. Now, at the same time, it has wings on the side of it. Okay, one on the right, one on the left. And I'm going to show you guys you see it right here in the picture. So these wings that are on the side of this damn thing, really, because of that, reminds me of the Sega Saturn controller. So it just feels really natural. It has a start button right in the middle, has 6 buttons on the side, 2 on the on the top. I just think that it is really good. to play games with that. It doesn't obviously have any joysticks on it, so you know this thing is predominantly just for real, you know, Genesis games and probably simple games. I wouldn't say even for Virtua Fighter, because I used to love playing that with the joystick, but unless you like playing it with the D-pad, that's, you know, you'll have fun with it. But I love D-pads for some games, you know, so this thing is more designed that, like, I will say for Sega Saturn games and Genesis games and stuff like that, 3DX or whatever games, Sega CD games, but I wouldn't say for Dreamcast games. I wouldn't say that exactly. So that's the kind of thing that I'm going to say. It's a great controller, don't get me wrong. It is a little, it's not clunky, but you're going to see when you knock on it, it's very empty, like a shell, kind of like any third-party controller that's out there. But also the Genesis and the Sega Saturn had exactly the same thing. It wasn't a real solid build. Like the Nintendo controllers, the original Nintendo controllers were really solid. This was, I'm going to say, feels exactly like a Sega Saturn controller, even over a Genesis controller. And it's just good. It feels great. If you ever had a Sega Saturn like I did, you're going to reminisce about old days, and you're just going to get used to it. It's like riding a bicycle. If you're coming from a joystick world and whatever, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time. I'm sure you're going to get used to it, but, you know, from joystick, I got really used to joysticks, and then to go back to D-pad was kind of a little bit getting used to. But for games that call for it, you're going to love it. Like Street Fighter, I love playing it with a real joystick, and if the joystick's not there, I don't like the thumb joysticks. I rather play it with a D-pad. So something like that would work out really nice. Now, the tactile feedback is freaking unbelievable. Okay, it's fantastic. You know, none of the buttons jam. Like I remember on the Sega Saturn, after you have some wear and tear on it. Now I don't know if this thing's gonna have some wear and tear, if it's gonna do that, but there's enough space between the buttons, if that makes sense, that it won't get, you know, jammed in. A lot of the times with the Sega Saturn, you'll see it goes into the plastic, and then you have to kind of like, you know, like that to take it out. And that kind of pissed me off after a while when everything wears down. This thing has great tactile feedback. The start button is extremely hard and sturdy and really good. The D-pad is very functional all the way around. I mean, we're talking anywhere you're doing it, it's just so good on your thumb. You don't have to even press really hard. Everything just reacts so perfectly. Now, I would have loved it to be like those old-fashioned controllers that cheat, where you could put these little, you know, switches on and it does the A, like it keeps hitting the A, or even for shits and giggles, the slow-mo where it just keeps pausing, you know, those kind of programmable things. But at $30, okay, 30 bucks, that's pretty damn cheap if you think about that, okay? So $30 compared to, what, $70 to $75 for the Crixes, whatever, that controller is nice too, but $75 is ridiculous. Now, I am going to say, if you're going to be playing this on the Genesis or whatever, and you need a Bluetooth adapter, you're going to have to pay 20 bucks. So altogether, it's going to come out to $50. But it operates natively on the PC. I didn't see the Bluetooth adapter at all when we played it on the Switch. I didn't play it on the PC, but I played it on the Switch, and I believe it was a Macintosh. I'm not sure, but my friend had his Mac on, so it was working on the Mac. I'm sure it's going to work the same on the PC also without a Bluetooth you know, adapter needed for it. But on the Genesis and whatever, you're probably going to need to buy that adapter, which is only like 20 bucks. It is sad it didn't come with it, whatever, but $30 if you're here, if you're going to just buy the M30, I think it's really worth it. I really highly recommend it if you can find one. Like, I was looking on it. Now, you could find it obviously on eBay and other places. I'm sure you'll find it. But in GameStops, it was like, his GameStop only, you know, they had it as a thing to practice on, and they had to do a survey if they think this is going to be, you know, in demand or whatever. I don't know, all kinds of crap. So you might find it in some GameStops, you might not. You might have to look for this online. It's called 8Bitdo, the M30. I definitely highly recommend it if you're going to play Sega Genesis games. Definitely, I think it's awesome. Playing Mortal Kombat, you know, on this thing, on Mortal Kombat 3 was incredible. You know, on the Genesis, it was so cool to play this thing. Well, not on the Genesis, on the PC using emulators, but whatever. But it's the Genesis emulator, the Mac, sorry. So you'd be able to really fit right in. And on the Switch, it's really, really good as well. Again, I prefer the, on the Joy-Cons, I prefer the joysticks. I got used to it. What am I going to tell you? But to have that D-pad there on some of the games is cool. Like I was playing Street Fighter on the Nintendo Switch, the one I reviewed for you guys. I really liked it. I really dug it using the D-pad over the, the cheesy D-pad of the Switch, unless you have a Pro Controller. But, it sucks. The D-pad, it blows on the Joy-Cons. So it was good and a breath of fresh air to go back into that Genesis realm and pick right up, especially when you're doing combos on Mortal Kombat 3, for example. And you're doing, let's say, the Sub-Zero combo or whatever. I'm used to playing it on the Super Nintendo, but also on the... I remember I played it on the Sega Saturn and the Genesis, of course, but I played it on the Sega Saturn Trilogy. So it just feels really good, especially for combos. When you're working out combos, it's really precise and better than a joystick. For fighting games, I always like using either a real joystick, the big ones, or, I will not, I hate using the regular thumb ones. I would rather use a D-pad. So I would say this thing, it fits right in. I think this is really, really cool. Definitely, you will reminisce about all the good times in this thing. I think you'd really like it. And standing in at $30 versus $70, $75, it's a no-brainer. I say you should pick it up. If this is what you guys like, I would definitely pick it up. I had the, the luck, I'm going to say I was blessed to have a friend in GameStop to actually let me get my hands on it. And I want to give you guys were telling me what I thought about it, and it was just like a miracle. The second he told me, he said, yeah, well, we got some of these controllers, and they got loads of crap there. You wouldn't believe it, that they're trying out, and then they fill out surveys to see if this would be effective for their customers or not, which I think is pretty freaking cool that he has access to that. And I got a chance to actually get my hands dirty on that. And it's amazing. The grip is amazing. Now, there is some things I'm going to say I wish that there were in there, that it wasn't there but isn't. The thing that I do really wish that wasn't there was the, those, switches for like the A's to keep clicking and whatever. And I'm sure they're going to come out with some kind of firmware crap or whatever to probably somehow cheese in there. But it's not. It's not there. Another thing that I would have liked is if it was bigger. Because already if, you can't take this thing on the go anyway. I mean, you could take it, but I'm saying it's not, it's not like the Joy-Cons that goes right into one. So already if you got a controller, you might as well have a full-size controller. This tends to be just a little bit smaller, but again, because I have freakishly big hands, as I always complained about, I have orangutan hands. I'm a freaking orangutan. That's the thing. I would have loved it to be bigger, a little bit bigger. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Did you guys get a chance to get your hands on this? Definitely weigh in on that one right here and let me know what you guys think. Definitely, I am curious to see what you guys think. And those that didn't, hey guys, I did it for you. Just like I said, keep those requests coming. And as always, guys, okay, keep those requests coming for the mini-series. As you see, during the week, I always do, I cover Nintendo, but during Saturday night or Sunday night, I cover everything from filming. I'm going to do some visual effects tutorials for you guys because I'm a visual effects artist. I do a bunch of stuff. I worked with a bunch of commercials, did some movies, did some stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to do some real good Hollywood effects probably soon. I just need to get a little better weather. What did I want to say? Okay, so keep those requests coming. The first one was how to build a computer. The second one, which is done, you guys can check that out. How to build a gaming / post-production / productivity computer on the cheap. The second one, it was how to build a cosplay helmet on the cheap. We did Store Killer helmet. Instead of paying $700 to $1,200, you're going to build it for $20 if you have a 3D printer. If you don't, you could get models from anywhere and just paint it yourself. I'll show you from beginning to end. Literally $20, guys. You could build it yourself. And all of these things, and I gave out a Mario holding for your Nintendo Switch that you put on top and you could charge it. The next one is coming out in the next, I wanted it to be in the 1st of March, but we're going to come out probably next week or the week after, which is how to build a gaming / post-production / productivity desk on the cheap. So definitely stay tuned for that, as I'm doing another prize giveaway for 2 prizes, so 2 winners could win. One is a Noob Saibot mask, the other is a Scorpion mask. Okay, whoever wins, the first winner will get to choose either or. The second will get what's left over. Believe me, none of it is crap. It's equally awesome. It's just, I guess, if you're fans of whatever. So, you know, I'm going to tell you how to enter in the last episode over there, and definitely, you know, check this out. This is the People's Channel. I don't do any Patreon. I know you guys requested me to do that, a lot of you guys, and I thank you and love you for that suggestion. But I like to keep this, the reason I opened this site is to keep it honest, to make it always honest, because I was sick and tired of the bullshit reviewers getting paid to say things to you guys. I always give you guys the absolute truth, and I think of it as, it's not my channel, it's the People's Channel. This is our channel. We all make this channel what it is. I was just sick and tired of being ripped off, and I came out with this channel because of that, and I vowed I would never do Patreon. I would never do any of these services, even tips. I really don't want, you know, I got a job. I got 2 jobs. I'm working technically 3 jobs, but it is paying for it. I wish I could have more money to do everything you guys request, but you'll have to be patient with me, okay? Based on the request, based on how many requests for that specific topic, I will do the mini-series on that. And if not, it'll still be on my board till it develops that many requests, and then I'll come out with it. So keep those requests coming. This is our channel. Show your support, please, and show your love by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell button. But most important, I want to hear in the comments down below what you guys think. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye. As always, guys, if you like what you see, self-funded here, be sure to check out all my other stuff, from mini-series to unboxings to technology, you know, and Nintendo reviews and 3D printer reviews and all that good stuff. If you like what you see, the only way you can help the channel is by liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell button. As many more cool videos to come. Definitely want you guys in it, and I want you guys to be vocal. Definitely comment down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.